Hello, welcome to International American University. My name is Catherine Hernandez, and I am the librarian for the university. And this presentation is about using the Library and Information Resources Network, which is also known as LIRN. The first thing I would like to go over is the fact that LIRN is a proxy service that provides universities access to scholarly databases. What this means is that we can access databases through this website. We do not have direct access to the databases. This is the web address, https proxy.learn.net. The username is 69784 and our password is windycamp78. So you can always come back to this slide if you need that information. I'd like to go over the databases that IAU subscribes to. And there are three main ones. These are ProQuest, Gale Cengage, and Skillsoft Books. ProQuest and Gale Cengage are umbrella information and data providers that have distinct databases that are subscribed to for access via LIRN. And I also provided the library services webpage on the IAU website. Now let's go over the ProQuest databases that we have. We have ABI Informed Collection. The ABI Informed Collection is comprised of ABI Informed Global, ABI Informed Trade and Industry, and ABI Informed Dateline. The collection features thousands of full-text journals, dissertations, working papers, key business and economics periodicals such as The Economist and Sloan Management Review, country and industry-focused reports, and major news sources like the Wall Street Journal. Its international coverage gives researchers a complete picture of companies and business trends around the world. So, ABI Informed Global is the core scholarly content, including thousands of full-text scholarly journals, periodicals, dissertations, and collections of working papers, as well as content from the Wall Street Journal, The Economist, and other major business presses. ABI Informed Trade and Industry has applied content, including market research reports, journals and magazines, and periodicals relevant to trade and industry. In continuation, we also have ABI Informed Dateline. This is the most streamlined version containing regional business news and wire feeds. It also contains the Entrepreneurship Database, which provides key access to scholarship, tools, and resources to help entrepreneurs and students navigate the complex world of small business. It contains a diverse collection of resources, including journals, industry reports, video clips, how-to books, templated forms, business plan samples, and more from top publishers. Then we have ProQuest Dissertations and Theses. As the official repository of the Library of Congress, ProQuest Dissertations and Theses provides researchers with unmatched search and reference link functionality that delivers results from across the globe that can meet the expectations of today's research community. Now let's go over Gale Cengage databases. First, we have Gale Business Insights Global. This is a unique source for international business intelligence, offering the most comprehensive and convenient way to find case studies and in-depth statistical data coupled with deep research and the ability to compare global economies, countries, and industries. Then we have Gale General One File, which is a large general interest periodical resource. It includes reference, newspaper, and audio content that complements the resource's robust collection of magazines and journals. Millions of articles are available. Gale One File Business provides full text coverage of all business disciplines, including accounting, economics, finance, marketing, management, and strategy, as well as business theory and practice. Users will understand the activities of companies and industries worldwide through nearly 4,000 leading business and trade publications updated daily. Complementing these titles is a selection of international, U.S., and regional news publications, all available on the state-of-the-art Gale One File platform. Gale Cengage continued. We have Gale Business Entrepreneurship. This is a comprehensive database that covers all aspects of starting and operating a business, including accounting, finance, human resources, management, marketing, tax, and more. It combines authoritative, periodical, and reference content to support prospective and current entrepreneurs, as well as business students. Experience an easy-to-browse interface mapped to 4 key stages: plan, fund, start, and manage, to fit your research needs at any point in your business's development. Gale Business Demographics Now is a tool that connects users with a wealth of highly detailed demographic data on more than 24 million U.S. businesses and 206 million consumers, making it ideal for gaining consumer and market insights. Lastly, we have Gale OneFile Economics and Theory, which offers instant access to full-text academic journals and magazines, with a strong emphasis on titles covered in the Econ Lit Bibliographic Index. Content is useful for starting a business, marketing a product, developing policy, analyzing trends, constructing economic models, investing for the future, researching rates, and more. The Economist Historical Archive. This is the definitive source for business and policy leaders, opinion shapers, and decision makers. Accordingly, this collection proves the ideal historical resource for researching cutting-edge ideas in a convenient format. Gale's digital technology delivers fully searchable news, supplements, advertisements, and letters that let researchers compare political and economic trends across continents and conduct credible research into the great events of the 19th, 20th, and 21st centuries. Then we have Skillsoft Books. This includes book summaries, which is an overview of the best business thinking, concise, visually engaging summaries of the best-selling and popular books on leadership, business strategy, management, best practices, and more. They also have IT and desktop videos, on-demand IT and desktop instructional videos, IT Pro, which is best-in-class content covering hundreds of technology topics, Digital Skills, which is ideal for end-user applications, and Engineering Pro, which is a multidisciplinary engineering reference. Okay, here we have the main page for LIRN, and up here at the right-hand top corner we have the login link. So we'll click that and we'll be taken to the login window. Down here we have the search field, and this is where we'll type in the name of the university. And they already start giving us options down here. So you're going to click on International American University, and then we go to our login, and our login is 69784, and our password is WindyCamp78. Okay, so now we're inside of the website, and here we have different views. We have an alphabetical view. We can look at all of the databases within their alphabetical forms. We have a subject view, and here you can go to any subject and search within that subject itself. So if you wanted to search business, you could search anything you wanted to within the business databases. Then we have our vendor view. And the vendors, we have some of these free vendors like Chicago Style Manual, which we don't use. So this is not very relevant to our school because we use APA style. But here we have our Gale Cengage databases. We have open access resources, ProQuest, Skillsoft. All right, so up here at the top right-hand corner, we have a search all databases field. Now in here, we can put our keyword in. So let's say we want to put the word economy in. Click. we get taken to this page. Now, I want to show you something. Notice the amount of results. Just for the word economy, we have 1,621,663 results. That is way too many results for you to go through. So that's why we want to have more narrower search terms. We want to have more exact search terms so that we don't have such huge results that we could never possibly go through each and every one of them to find the best journal articles that we want to use for our research. Also notice this right here, peer review. So we want full text articles and we want peer review. Make sure it's peer review, especially if you're doing a doctoral or master's level research. This is very, very important. Now I want to stop here real quick and discuss peer-reviewed articles versus non-peer-reviewed publications. And I got this little handy little chart from a college in Alabama. And this discusses the differences between peer-reviewed scholarly journals and non-peer-reviewed articles. Notice the difference. Scholarly journals are not exactly for the general audience. This is mostly for researchers, professors, and scholars. So the audience for the peer review is researchers and professionals. The authors are scholars or professors. The content is longer articles, and they'll have research projects, and they will usually have methodology and a theory involved. There's also usually an abstract. And they will use subject-specific language and terms. They will have bibliographic sources cited. They have to, in order to give credit to their sources. And the purpose is to share facts with other scholars and researchers in that same field of study. You won't really hear of any advertisements for them. And some examples are American Literature, New England Journal, Medicine, Current History. Now we have non-peer-reviewed articles. Now there's a difference between a popular magazine and a trade magazine or journal. Trade magazines and journals often do have good information in them, okay, such as Harvard Business Review. It won't have a lot of scholarly articles in it for the general public, but it will have good information in it. It's considered a good resource. So there's a difference between a popular magazine and a trade magazine, okay? So a popular magazine is for the general public. Anybody can read it. There aren't really any specific research methods for the articles. And a trade magazine will have members of a specific business, industry, or organization that are usually well known within the organization. Popular magazines have staff writers and journalists. Okay, they're paid by the magazines. And trade journals and magazines have experts in their field. Popular magazines have short articles of general interest with a focus on current events, news, and personality. And trade magazines have short articles with an emphasis on industry trends, new products, techniques, and organizational news. Popular magazines are rarely cited. You won't see any scholars citing a popular magazine unless they're studying how popular magazines publish their work. And the information is usually second or third hand, meaning they don't have any primary sources. The information is obtained from other people. And in a trade magazine, the sources are mentioned are occasionally in biographies, but you're not going to see too many bibliographies for popular magazines. And popular magazines are mostly for entertainment, while trade magazines are to share information, news, with others who are in the same trade. Popular magazines are heavy, and the trade magazines are moderate. Almost all are trade related. So popular magazines have, like some examples are Glamour, Time, Newsweek. Those are popular magazines. Trade magazines are like Police Chief, Advertising Week, Tech Directions. Okay, so we are back at the LIRN database search engine. And again, this will search all of the databases that we have subscriptions to. Now again, we are back at economy, and it has too many results as come up from the use of economy. So what we want to do is put more precise search terms in. So let's, for instance, put in economy and an economy of scope. It's a specific type of business. And then we will click go. All right. Now we will start getting more results. And this, look how much we have now, 11,104 results. That's pretty good. So we will have all these results coming down here. Now notice this. You're going to see economy, economy, economy. Okay. Economy of scope. Now, understand this. We have here on the right side, we have two choices. We can choose all these words or this exact phrase. Now, all these words will give us results or articles that have any of those words in them. So it might not actually have to do with economy of scope. It might just have economy in it. Scope. We're not sure. So to get better results, if you want to use this exact phrase, so you want to look up this exact type of business, you would use this exact phrase. Click go. And then we have some really old ones here. Okay. What we can do is we can sort by date. Oh, they have the oldest here. They don't allow the newest. So what we have here is 5,594 results. So then we start getting more results about this type of business. And the further we go, the newer we get. So if we do economies of scope, exact phrase, notice this. So it also depends on the version of the word. All I did was make economy plural, economies, and we get more results, which are more precise. So you have to actually play around with different versions of words to get the precise amount of results that you want. Okay, now let's look at these other options that we have to narrow our results even further. So we can narrow by language. You can choose articles that are of a different language, although this is not a very reliable way to look for resources, basically because LIRN is based in English. It's an American company, so most of the articles are going to be in English. You will find very few in other languages, but you might want to look. Let's see if we put Spanish, what happens. You see, it doesn't really work because it just wants to find the prevalent language, which is English. So I would pretty much stick with English here. I have tried this before, and unfortunately that's just the way it is with this particular proxy. Now we can search by type, and by type they mean abstract. If you just want an abstract, you can look for an abstract. An abstract is basically just a summary of what the theory is and what the findings about the theory are. Then we have an archival document, which means that it's really old, but it is saved because it has very good information. A regular article we have here. We can have audio. There's audio materials in here, although not a lot. We have full books. If you want a conference proceeding, you can choose that. Electronic resource, well, all of these are electronic, so that's point is somewhat moot. If you want an encyclopedia about a topic, you can do that. A journal article, magazine. Again, remember, magazine is not going to be as scholarly as journal. Journal is going to be the kind with peer review materials in it. You also have maps, newspapers. The problem with news is that it's always developing. So sometimes news is reported before the complete story is out. So unfortunately, news is not always, it's always developing. So it's never complete until a story is old. We can we can look for a thesis, or video. But let's say we want to look for a journal article. We'll put that. Now we want to search by date. Okay. You can choose any date, or you could choose a date after, let's say, this day, which is June 10th, 2020, to now. After that date, you can choose that, meaning everything that you search will not be, it won't have been published before June 10th, 2020. Okay? Before date, so anything before today or anything before, I don't know, 2019, you could search. You could choose your dates. Between dates, you can choose, and again, you can change your dates by going here, and you have the options to change your months and your years. Or you can also choose during a date, which is a day. So if you know of a situation that happened on a specific date, you could choose that. So let's choose between dates. So between articles published between June 2020. Let's go back further. Let's go back to November 2019 to now. Okay. And I pressed enter, and then it put the date in. So let's see what happens. Okay. So now the results are going to be narrowed even further. Okay. So out of 428 results found, 49 have been retrieved, meaning they fit this particular set of circumstances better than any other because of the parameters we set. All right, now I want to go back to the interface where we have our views of our different databases that we can look through. And in order to get to a specific database, group of databases, we would go to vendor view. And this will be very handy for many searches, especially for certain professors. They prefer specific databases, such as ProQuest. So if you wanted to just go to all of our ProQuest databases, just go right here and click. And then we get to the ProQuest itself, the specific ProQuest search engine itself. So we have here, this is where we would put our search terms. And again, we could put any search terms we want, but I want to go to advanced searches in ProQuest. Remember, we want full text and we want peer reviewed. Okay. Up here, we want to go to advanced search up here. All right. And look, this is where we get a lot of options. Okay. So this is where we do a search. Now let's say we want to search for business theory. Those are our search terms, okay? And we could choose where we want to search them. Also, limit to, these are our limiters, full text, peer reviewed. Okay? Now, we could search it anywhere, or we can have many specific options here. I usually just stay with anywhere because we can get the best results that way. So if we do this, let's search. Okay. You will get a lot of results. And we have, so there's all these different results here. Show abstract, we could see the abstract right here, right now, if we wanted to. Hide abstract. Publication date. Look, we can choose within the last 12 months or within the last 5 years. And the results are going to narrow even further. We can choose by language if we want. I'd stick with English. Again, look, see how many English you're going to get? A lot more than the other languages. Although you can look for other languages if you'd like. You might get a different look at a specific theory. And you can sort your results by relevance, or the oldest first, or the most recent first. And each time you click on something, on one of these limiters, it's going to update itself. So look what we have here, which is the newest one, June 2021, the most recent. Okay, so let's say that you want to look up something more specific. Let's say you want to discuss small businesses, but what kind of small businesses? Startups we have here. Now, this is called a Boolean operator, and. So you want small businesses that are startups. You would say and. This will give you some nice specific results. Again, you can choose by publication date. You have all these options here, which dates you want to look up. And you see these right here, these are fields for exact, if you knew the exact author, this is where you would put it here. You're looking for an article by an author, this is where you would put it. An article by an advisor, this is where you would put it. An article at a specific institution, you would put it here. But let's say that we want to use this Boolean operator, small businesses that are startups. So we would use and. So let's search. Okay, and then this is where we get results. See? Financial democratization in pandemic times. So you're going to get information about small businesses that are startups. Let's go back to advanced search. Now, if you wanted small businesses that are not startups, this is where you would put not. Let's search. Then you're going to get other types of small business articles that are not about startups. This is more for if you tend to look up a specific type of phrase and it always comes up with a phrase that you don't want it to be associated with. This is where you would use the not operator. All right, now let's look at an article. Let's say you found an article that you like. It has everything that you want in it, but you want to save it. You don't want to have to keep logging into ProQuest to read the article and to cite it. So you can download it onto your computer, and it'll save into your computer as a PDF. You would click that. You can email it to yourself. Okay, so you will get the content of it, and you put your email address and your name, and then you press continue. You can also print it if you have a printer. You could also save it. There's into the cloud. You can save it into your Google Drive if you have that, or your Microsoft OneDrive if you have that. Okay. Don't do it on Save to My Research, because more than one student has access to this function, so it would just end up saving everybody's articles into it. You can save it into a bibliographic application if you want to. Citation exporter, these are such as RefWorks, that's one, EasyBib, Noodle Tools, EndNote, okay? And you have different options, like you could save it in a PDF, you could save it in an Excel spreadsheet, Word, or just your text. And you can also use the cite function. Now be very careful if you use the cite function, okay? See, we can get it in APA, but here we're going to have the 6th edition, and you want the 7th edition. So you can cite it, but make sure the citation is the correct way it's supposed to be in the new version of the APA manual. Now, lastly, I want to show you a very handy tool here that they have up here. Now, let's say you're not sure exactly what keyword should be used for whatever you're looking for. This is where you could go to your thesaurus. And your thesaurus will give you all the words that are close to what you might be looking for that would be used to index in this database. So let's put the word efficient in here. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we're going to start getting different kinds of efficient things. Efficient consumer response, efficient market theory, efficient markets. Okay? So it depends on what you want to look for. But I wanted to show you this because, close. I wanted to show you a tool in case you were not sure of exactly which word you want to use. So you can use those to add to your search terms. All right, I went back to our original interface where we have access to the different, all of the different databases that we subscribe to. Now I want to go look at Gale Cengage. Gale Cengage has a lot of different limiters and aspects to it that are very advanced. You won't really need to use most of these, only for very, very specific searches. Okay. And again, look what we have here. We have, again, our Boolean operators. And you already know how to use those. You can add a row if you want to add more keywords in there. Okay. Now remember, if you want to search down here for full text articles and peer-reviewed journals. If you want articles or documents that contain images, that's you know, your choice. And again, we have our dates. So this will give you, if you say between, you'll have the ability to choose your dates here. I just want all dates for this search. Okay, and look, you can do document types here again, and they have more options here. Look, abstract, aerial photograph. You can look for aerial photographs of specific countries or cities. So you're going to get a lot more choices here with Gale. Now you can choose by publication title or the publication subject. I usually just stay away from these because these might not be help you find the best searches. So you understand your operators, and this is where you can find your search tips, okay? This will tell you how to create really good searches. So if you're not sure how to use a Boolean operator, come down here, click on this, and or not, okay? You could do proximity searches. So you won't really need too many proximity limiters. I wouldn't really worry about proximity or nesting particularly. So we use nesting operators to define complex searches. I would try to stay away from very complex searches. The more simple you make it, actually, the easier it is. So quotation marks. Now quotation marks, those are for what? If we want to do a search for an exact phrase, remember in LIRN, they had an option for exact phrase. Well, instead here, if we want an exact phrase, we'll use quotation marks, okay? And they give you examples here. So, see, if wage gap was, it will find all the words, but not necessarily together. But if you want these words together in your search, you'd put a quotation around them, okay? So let's see, what do they have here? Auto industry. Let's see if they have anything on auto industry. They do. And then we do our search. So they're all full text, and they're all peer reviewed. So we have, and then again, we can also search, we can also have our limiters right here. We can do our filters over here. We don't have to do it just within the advanced search page. Okay? You can choose a documentation type. Let's say we want to report. We only have 17, so that's really going to narrow down your results very much. And you could actually go through 17 of these. So here you go. They have a lot of really good methods of allowing you to narrow your search results. Okay? All right, so let's say that we have our article that we want to save. We want to keep it. We can keep it on Google Drive. Here we have Microsoft OneDrive. We can email it to ourselves. A lot of these databases, scholarly databases, they're going to be very similar in how they operate. So once you get the hang of it in one search engine, it's pretty easy to go to another search engine and learn how to use theirs. You can download it. You can print it. Okay? Now, you can also send it to, again, this is where you get your choices. So they have more than one place where they want to remind you that you have these choices. Okay? You can get the link for the article and send it to somebody else or yourself. And you can also cite the article. Again, just make sure that you're getting the correct version, and you can send it to. We have, again, the same reference applications and APA 7th edition. And just make sure, again, that it is in the 7th edition. You can't always count on the application to have the correct version of APA. I want to discuss another topic. It has nothing to do with searches in LIRN or any of the databases within it, but it's very important. And it is the difference between authoritative and non-authoritative sources. Authoritative sources are trustworthy. They're known to be done by experts or people who have been publishing about the field for a long time, versus non-authoritative resources. And the problem with non-authoritative resources is that there are more non-authoritative resources on the internet than authoritative resources. So that's a big problem. So authoritative references are archival, corroborated, and sanctioned. Okay, you have 3 different types. So archival means that the source is available now and it is expected to remain available in the future. Corroborated means that a source has at least one other publication that has information that matches it. So basically the meaning of corroborated. The information can be found elsewhere. And sanctioned means that the resource comes from a well-known and trusted sources of information, such as a professional publication, a professional society perhaps. It's peer-reviewed. It is in an encyclopedia. It could be in a professional index. There are different kinds of sanctioned materials. You can always ask your librarian. They have a large list of sanctioned materials. Now this brings us to what is not authoritative. Okay, these are just a few examples here. A blog by a person or group of people that are not well known or trusted as experts in the field that they are discussing, that's not authoritative. They may know what they are talking about, or they may sound like they know what they are talking about, but it's not authoritative unless they are known as an expert in the field. The same thing for a vlog by someone who's not an expert in the field. A website then that can be altered by any user registered with it, such as Wikipedia. Okay, don't use Wikipedia. A lot of the information in it is good, but some of it is bad too. And the last thing you want to do is be using bad information for your research project. Okay? There are other things that are definitely not authoritative. Do not use opinion pieces for a research project. Don't go to a political website. That's not authoritative. Anything that is obviously not done by a professional, don't use it. Okay, well, that is the end of the presentation. Thank you very much for watching this. Here is the bibliography that I have of information that you can look up for if you want to learn more about authoritative references or peer-reviewed versus non-peer-reviewed materials. Thank you.